The Met använder sig av historiska ting för att öka förståelsen för arabvärlden. Tidskriften Bidoun, som håller till här på Lower East Side i Manhattan, de använder sig istället av moderniteten. De vill inte se bakåt på saker och ting som kan vara belastade av exotism eller orientalism, utan de vill se framåt.
Well, I think Bidoun is a reaction to the Middle East as something that's already kind of being mediated through culture. So in a way, we were trying to complicate the depiction of the Middle East and the entire idea that there is a Middle East. This is our most recent issue, and it's about the revolutionary January 25th in Cairo. If you look at the kinds of images and stories that were being projected out of the Middle East from the West, you would almost have a hard time imagining that anybody there ever sits down to dinner, you know, or does anything normal, like it was just people yelling, things blowing up.
Konsttidskriften Bidoun grundades 2004. Innehållet fokuserar på konst och kultur från Mellanöstern, skildrat både på plats och i diasporan. Tidningen har etablerat sig som en av de mest tongivande med gästskribenter som popstjärnan MIA och Nobelpristagaren Orhan Pamuk. Målet är att vidga perspektivet på regionen som vi kallar för Mellanöstern.
I mean, even the term Middle East is from an English magazine from like the turn of the century. From the outside, this place made perfect sense. When you live in Morocco, you really have very little in common with someone in Qatar. And when you live in Qatar, from someone in Egypt, you may not even understand each other's dialect. So Bidoun is kind of about that contradiction.
Who do you picture as an audience?
I think that question is one of the most important questions that you can ask yourself if you're making culture. And I think it's because the kind of identity and the position of your reader is so predetermined, and usually it's not something that we take into consideration. So when we write or when we read, even when we hear the word we somewhere like in the Wall Street Journal or in Le Monde, who is this we that we're referring to? And in general, this we is someone who is physically in a safe setting. You know, he has walls around him and a lock on the door, and you know, there's like so much that's already prescribed in what is kind of the polite projection of the reader. And I think that is, like personally, in the work that I do for Bidoun, something I try to address and challenge.
Precis lika lite som det finns ett enhetligt vi, så finns det enligt Babak Radboy inte heller något Mellanöstern. Åtminstone inte om det är där man bor.
And you find a lot of the times that the idea makes more sense from outside than from in. And that's why Bidoun is made from New York rather than from Beirut. Is that if we were in Beirut, we'd probably make either a magazine about New York or a magazine about Beirut, but we certainly wouldn't make a magazine that's about Tehran, Beirut, Damascus, you know.